Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well today. It is PEIX here with another watch list video. Today we'll be covering the 5 tickers that you see on the right hand side of your screen. As per usual, before we get started, none of what you see or hear today is financial advice. You should always follow your own trade plan set with clear risk management based around your comfort zone. You should never follow anyone blindly, and do your own due diligence before entering a trade. So with that being said, let's get right into it. The first ticker that I will be looking over today is GP, Green Power Motor Company. So this is an electric vehicle company, I believe based in the United States. As you guys know by now, I'm me along with the entire sector the entire group of market participants is extremely bullish on the renewable energy sector, as in particular the electric vehicle sector. I mean, it goes without saying that the entire marketplace is moving towards green energy. I know like Ford and GM and companies like that are making an entire shift to green energy vehicles by like 2030 or something like that. So the entire vehicular marketplace is moving towards green energy, and with the Biden administration and Democratic government, any proposals or initiatives for electric vehicles is going to be followed through on. There's going to be a lot of support behind that movement. As you guys know, Biden's executive order placed last week, I believe it was, said that the entire government fleet of vehicles is going to move towards EV sector. So that's causing a huge bump in the North American electric vehicle sectors, or electric vehicle names. FSR is one that was on last week's watch list. Huge breakout, big bull volume, and that's just in response to Biden's plan. Workhorse was another ticker. WKHS. Workhorse was another ticker that blew up last weekend because of that executive order news. So as you can see, there's a ton of bullishness in the sector overall, and with Biden in office, that's only helping. So that acts as a fundamental reason why I'm so bullish on the EV sector. If you look, oh yeah, that was pretty much the fundamental news, was the executive order. So let's get right into the technicals here. So the first thing that I always look at when deciding when to enter a trade is the bull volume. I want to see these huge spikes in accumulation volume throughout the chart. That shows me that there's a lot of institutional or big player interest behind this chart, and the most likely outcome is higher moves. Now, the only thing that could disrupt that is obviously like a negative news report or some sort of fraudulent activity with the company. But a damaging news report would be the only case scenario in which something with this much volume does not go to the upside. Now, that could vary, obviously, depending on how much buyers come in with a breakout. But overall, very confident that we'll see more continuation to the upside with this ticker. So breaking down the price action here, we see an ascending triangle. Ascending triangle is marked by a region of flat resistance, which obviously price cannot get over. But you see higher lows reaching the apex of the triangle and eventually a strong breakout to the upside. One of the best tickers that I always reference for this was PEN. So it's drawn a little bit differently here, but as you can see, we have higher lows moving towards the apex of the pattern, and we have a clear flat top resistance that price cannot get over. And eventually we kind of just explode through the apex. Strong continuation as shorts cover and bulls enter their positions. But again, what do we see with PEN? We see huge bull volume accumulation throughout this entire price action structure. So the same idea applies to GP. So we have that higher low pattern, flat top resistance, but great bull volume that will likely drive this price higher. One thing I will say though is we do have a expected earnings release on February 11th. Now that is still well within this pattern here, actually right to the apex of the pattern. Now, something I've learned in my trading career is never take a trade before earnings. It's too much of a gamble. So I will likely wait till we see that earnings report before entering. Even if we get a breakup before then, I'm fine with missing it. I would just not want to take the gamble and say there's some detrimental earnings release, news related to the earnings release, or as an outcome of the earnings release, and that could drive price down. So always waiting for that, not gambling on these stocks. But overall, looking really good right now in the daily chart. We see that we are making a bit of a bull flag. So we'll see how long that consolidates. Might range up a little bit, but again, like I said, if we break out, I'm still waiting for that earnings release here before entering. So that's the first ticker. Second is Pexi, Alto ingredients. So this company was Pacific Ethanol, I believe, and they originally had a business model where they were adding a key component to gasoline. Now I will pull up the fundamental news piece. So they had Pacific Ethanol was the previous company name. So they changed it to Alto Ingredients. As you can see here in this news article, the investors seemed pretty excited about it already, which is good to see. And then the reason that they changed their name was they were going to represent a new focus on producing alcohol for products such as cleaning solutions and pharmaceuticals, as opposed to the company's previous model, money-losing focus on producing ethanol as a fuel additive. So that's interesting. So obviously, with the result of the pandemic, cleaning solutions is going to be one of those psychological shifts where everyone's still pretty adamant about keeping things clean. So that's good to see. Obviously, a lot of potential fundamental upside with that sort of news. Also, they got I'll pull up their ticker symbol on FinViz here. They got a recent upgrade. So buy upgrade on January 29th to $11. And as you can see, they do have a decent short float, 11.64. It's not the greatest, but it is notable. So there's a couple fundamental reasons why I am interested in Pexi. But looking in on the technical side of things, I highlighted this in one of my previous tweets, but the bull volume accumulation that you see on this chart is absolutely sensational. Kill this page, it's making mine lag. So yeah, the bull volume is absolutely incredible. This is the type of bull volume that I love to see. Like, this is textbook bull volume accumulation, lots of institutional ownership, lots of institutional big player interest in this name. I can give an example of another ticker, which I recently traded, LAC, lithium company, so into the ion batteries and whatnot, but similar idea, right? You just see this massive bull volume accumulation throughout the entire pattern, and it just gives you only one inclination that this stock is going to explode when it's given the chance. Now, Pexi's been in this incredibly boring consolidation over a number of weeks. I had a position earlier at like 6:30, I believe was my entry, and I just got so bored of holding it, so I had to loosen up some capital to enter other trades. Took like the smallest loss on it, but now it's setting up really well. Now, the fact that it has an upgrade is a huge boost, and a change in business model is something that investors seem excited about. So breaking down the technical side of things again, great bull volume. We have this triangle pattern on the daily chart, and we also see a bull flag forming right before the apex, a little bit before the apex. Earnings is a little far out, so I don't think that will have a detrimental effect on this breakout. I think, based off their change of business model, there's a possibility that investors try to front run this earnings, so it'll be a breakout before and sell the news type event, but we'll see what happens. So I really like this bull flag consolidation. Like I said, my entry price, as is listed in the slideshow that I will be releasing with this video, but my entry trigger will be a hourly close above that 7.97 level. So I see a strong hourly close with good bull volume above that level. That'll be my first entry point, and any continuation adding with the dips price target will be probably around that $11 area, if not all the way up to $13, $14. As you can see with the Fibonacci extensions, taking it from this pivot low to this pivot high. But yeah, overall, very beautiful looking price action from Pexi. RPD, pretty sweet gun in Call of Duty if any of you guys played that. But forming a very nice pattern right here. It looks a little bit like Coddy in the way that it was setting up in this beautiful bull flag, but very interesting to me. Looking over the the fundamental side of things. So this company, Rapid7, they are a cybersecurity and compliance solutions service. So what is Rapid7 used for? I couldn't find any recent fundamental news as to why this company would be doing so well, but it is, a cybersecurity platform. So helps you to reduce risk across your entire connected environment, so your company can focus on what matters most. Whether you need to easily manage vulnerabilities, monitor for malicious behavior, investigate and shut down activities, or automate your operations, we have solutions and guidance for you. So this is a company that is very applicable in today's day and age. As you can see, they're related to a lot of these big tech companies that have had some incredible runs. And I can't consciously be bull or bearish about a company in this space, especially when they have strong technicals behind it. So based on that technical, or on that note, we see massive bull volume accumulation across this entire price structure, which is good to me. We see this explosion impulse wave up, backed by this volume, beautiful bull flag consolidation, very textbook here. It is a little bit low in the average volume for me, so that is something notable. Typically, I like to trade with a stock with an average volume above 1 million shares traded per day, but I mean, it's good enough. Can't complain too much about it. So this will be more of a short-term momentum trade. My trigger is an hourly close above that 93.88 level, targeting this 100, 105 area here. Nice psychological resistance, but this will be just a shorter-term momentum trade. Another good thing to see as well is we have this, like I said, the strong impulse wave with increasing bull volume, but we have decreasing bull volume in the consolidation. So that is poised and ready to go. We do have an earnings release expected on February 9th, so a week and a couple days away. So I would anticipate consolidation until that earnings release. Again, do not enter before earnings. It is too much of a gamble. Even if it starts breaking out beforehand, just let it go, because if earnings is released and negative news is associated with it, you will be caught holding the bag, or left holding the bag, and that's obviously what nobody wants. So waiting for earnings release to get a little bit more directional clarity, and waiting for that 93.88 trigger after earnings. SDC, so this has been a name that's been pretty popular on social media, and for good reason. So based off the technical, actually we'll start with the fundamental as per usual. So SDC, they have the potential to disrupt the traditional dentistry and orthodontics sector. So what is this company? It is Smile Direct Club. It is a next generation oral care company with the first med tech platform for teeth straightening. So this is pretty much like an online service. So it's like the clear Invisalign type plastic mouthguard, whatever you can call it, teeth alignment technology. And they're starting to be partnered with, really prominent insurance companies across Canada. So they're starting to get a lot more mainstream. And I know a lot of friends actually who use this service. So it's definitely just more convenient. It's like through an online based platform. Obviously you have to go in for a couple of appointments, but it's very convenient, very modernized platform and service for receiving your dental care. And obviously nobody likes braces, so this Invisalign type technology is definitely the new direction for teeth straightening. It also has a very high short float. It says 27% here, but if you go to FinViz, I believe it's up to 30. What is it? SDC. Yeah, so 31.8% short float. And we all know how short floats have been exploding recently. These highly shorted stocks have been exploding recently. So based off that, it's very enticing to try to find an entry into this stock. So that's the fundamental breakdown. Great fundamentals, potential to disrupt dentistry and orthodontics as we know it. Now let's break down the technical side of things. So volume, number one, we see awesome bull volume accumulation throughout this entire price structure here, which is obviously step one for me before entering a trade. Now we have this trend line, this triangle type pattern. It's a little bit messy, but it's very clear where we're making higher lows every time we test this bottom trend line here. Now we have two areas of contact on this upper trend line. So the pattern is completely valid, although it's a little bit messy. Now, focusing in a little bit closely over the last 5-6 months here, we see a lot more of this bull volume accumulation. So definitely this name is picking up a lot of momentum in recent days or recent months. Now over the last week, we saw a strong impulse wave up with massive bull volume coming in. Now, as you notice here, we have not changed the daily trend. So we were in a daily downtrend prior to this impulse move, hit the trend line and exploded higher. Now that we've broken over this upper trend line, we can say with definitive belief, I think that's the word, that the most likely outcome is just a higher low from here. So we are looking for that daily higher low and continuation higher. Now previously, the trigger was 1414. I left it there because I still think that's going to be a prominent level. So what I want to see is that strong hourly close with high bull volume above this pivot here. A great example of it that you can reference for the other tickers is you see as price reaches this level, we see a high increase in bull volume, high increase in activity, and we're getting some candle closes above there. So okay, price is holding this level. Let's enter a position and add into the daily higher low. That's what, you know, very technical traders would be looking for here. I don't obviously have a position. I'm still sitting out cash, but I do love to see this price action development. All we are looking for is that higher low, retesting the previous pivot levels, which is a pocket of support here. So things look very good from the technical side. Another thing I will mention too is we see declining volume on this pullback, especially bear volume. So again, from a technical perspective, this looks really good. Targets, recent IPO, the psychological $20 level is definitely one that I am watching, but I did reference that we could break all-time highs. Wouldn't be surprised based off this type of price action. So that could be in play. We do have an earnings report coming at the beginning of March. So I think, again, this could be a front run type play where investors drive the price up for a month and then sell the news type event, regardless if it's good or bad. So SDC looking very, very nice in this consolidation. NIO, so this is one of my favorite stocks of all time. I've traded it so much that, I mean, it's just been a complete gold mine for me. So I'm hoping that pattern continues. So fundamental side of things, don't really need to go over the electric vehicle sector anymore. Very bullish on it overall. This is a Chinese EV sector. Now, it was touted as one of, I forget the actual term, but it was basically like the golden child of Chinese EV. Like this is the Tesla of China type thing. So lots of bullish investment behind this ticker. As you can see, and as you probably know, we have breakout after breakout after breakout. I traded all of these, made some great returns. Recently, we had this consolidation right here that broke out to the upside. And what we are getting is a little bit of a bull flag. Now, I will interject here before I go on the technical side of things first and say that the reason NIO is consolidating right now is because of Biden's executive order. So Biden gave that executive order saying that the entire government fleet of vehicles is going to transfer over to electric vehicles, to renewable energy sector. So Biden is also proposing that Buy America First narrative. So that's why the North American EVs are exploding right now, is because they realize that the government's going to implement their companies into the actual, into the actual government of the United States. But that's going to carry over to the way that these companies are perceived in the public eye moving forward. So there's a little bit more excitement, a little bit more money rotation going towards the North American EVs as they have that recent news. So NIO, LI, what's the other company I was talking about before? I can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but these Chinese EV companies are just consolidating, pulling back, not really doing too much exciting things. So we'll wait for a fundamental reason, a news release, an upgrade, whatever it may be, to get into this trade. So breaking down the technical side of things, we see great bull volume accumulation throughout this entire price structure here. That goes without saying. NIO, like I said, the golden child, the Tesla equivalent in China for the electric vehicle sector. So breaking down the price structure a little bit here. So we had this triangle pattern breakout, got a nice entry here. Myself tweeted about this consistently, saw a solid upside continuation. It got an upgrade, I think got 3 upgrades, 2 or 3 upgrades, all targeting the mid 70s, high 80s. So a lot of bullish sentiment behind this name. Like I said, it's just consolidating because a little bit of the money is rotating into the North American EVs, as that is a shorter term buy. And so what do we have? So we have this consolidation, strong movement up, and now we're just ranging. We're using this pivot here as a nice pocket of support. Nice pocket of support. That price is just consolidating above. Based from a more technical perspective, we have this strong impulse move to the upside, and now we are making a bull flag. So we see that strong impulse volume going to the upside. And, as we always love to see, declining volume in the broader area of the consolidation. So we saw that strong volume on the impulse, maybe a couple days into the consolidation, and then volume dries up, and we wait for a reason to buy. Now, NIO, I'm so bullish on that I'm even tempted just to enter into this position. I want to wait for a little bit more market clarity. As I mentioned in the other videos, I want to see SPY regain some key levels. I want to see QQQ hold key pivots, IWM set that higher low, and I also want to see the dollar break to the downside before I am comfortable entering these positions. But NIO is just so bloody bullish that I'm tempted to enter here and just hold for as long as possible. But yeah, very, very lovely looking pattern here. Now, targets to the upside, so I actually will begin with my trigger. 64.52, I'm looking for that strong hourly close, good bull volume to give me a trigger entry. Targets to the upside, I believe, I'm going to double check here, but I believe it was a $75 and an $80 upgrade. So we'll use those numbers as reference. So January 29th, $80, 22nd, 80. Okay, so they're both $80 upgrade levels, and that's actually pretty in line with the Fibonacci extensions here. So I was taking it from this pivot low here to this pivot high here to get this measurement on the Fibonacci extensions. And right now, 75 is my first target, and 80 will be my second. So I think once we get that 64.52 trigger, we can look for that first 75, then $80 target, if not higher, because this ticker does have that squeeze potential where it just kind of goes parabolic. As you can see here, we had this. I'll zoom in a little bit so it's easier to see. We had this one pattern break bullish, another pattern break bullish, another pattern break bullish, like 3 or 4 patterns in a row break bullish right into consolidation, and then we just got this explosion of price action to the upside. So this ticker can really run, as has been proven time and time again. So I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Have yourselves a great rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you tomorrow.